Apart from the block slider, the block also has a few other tricks up its sleeve. And one of them, very popular on many websites, is a full height block. And what do we mean by a full height block? So a little bit of terminology here, because yes, everything has their little bit of jargon and lingo that you need to learn. And one of that is the viewport. So currently, as you are watching this video, you're probably watching it on your mobile device, on a tablet, or on a desktop monitor. Now, you are watching it also on a browser. You're using Safari, or you're using Chrome or Edge. That is the browser in which you are viewing what I am showing you. Now, the viewport is the display area within your browser. So I'll grab my paint tool here just to show you. You can see very clearly we are working here in Microsoft Edge. Everything that I'm viewing inside Edge is my viewport. So all the way from this corner up here to all the way to here in the bottom right, this is my viewport. And I can actually just fill it in a little bit for you. Let's just change the transparency so you have a good idea of which area is the viewport. These parts of the browser, like the tabs and the URL, as well as this part of your Mac, or in my case, Windows, they are not part of the viewport. There is actually a measurement in website design for how you can display something in a viewport. And you can think of it in terms as a percentage. If you have something that displays all the way from the bottom to the top, so in the viewport, very important, from here all the way to here, then we say it is 100% of your viewport height. Of course, it's height, so that's why we say it's viewport height. And we write it as VH. So let me type that in there for you, VH. On the other hand, if we are displaying something that stretches all the way in your viewport from left to right or right to left, as such, we are talking about viewport width, right? The opposite of viewport height. So we will say that is VW for viewport width. And these are very standard measurements in often saying how we want something to display within a website page. Remember, if I say that something is 100 viewport height, it will display all the way from the bottom to the top. And that's what we call a full height image. And if something is displaying all the way from the left to the right or right to the left in the entire viewport at 100, then it is stretched across the canvas. Let me clear this out. Let's exit this and let me show you how to do that. Let's bring in a new block. Instead of bringing it here in at the bottom, I'll add it between these two. Hover there in the middle, click on add a new block and create your new block. Let's bring in an image for the background. Select the block settings. We go to background. And we select an image. Do I have a hero here? Yes, I have a hero image over here. Let's bring that in. And to make this a full height, which is 100 VH for viewport height, you go to the settings of the block over here. And you will see that we have height currently set to auto. And then we have full height over here. If I select full height, it's going to jump to the full height of my monitor. That's very important. I'm viewing it currently on my monitor, and it will fill the viewport height on my monitor. It will look at the height of my viewport in my browser, and it will fill it accordingly. On yours, it's going to look different, and I'll show you soon on responsive devices how that changes. Again, just to give you a little bit of an idea, if I put it in there and I grab my little tool here, now this image is stretching in the viewport all the way from the bottom all the way to the top at 100% from top to bottom or bottom to top, which gives us 100 VH viewport height. That is a full height image. The impact here is that if you go to other displays, for example, if I select here tablet, Control Command minus, you will see now it will still stretch all the way from the top to the bottom, but it is narrower. And if I go over here to mobile, you will see the same. But there's no mobile device on earth that is this lengthy and that narrow. So we have to view it on something a little bit more realistic. Let's save it, Control S, Command S, and preview it, select preview, and then we're going into inspector mode. To activate inspector mode, you hit F12, that shortcut key and the function key at the top of your keyboard. Let's scroll to the bottom where we have our full height image, and then hit F12 on your keyboard, which will open the inspector. Make sure you go into the responsive viewing. You will see that little icon appears up there, and this will give us these settings. The first one I will do is let's select an iPad Air, and you will see that as I scroll, this image, once it gets into my display within my viewport, it's going to stretch all the way from the top to the bottom. If I choose a mobile device like the iPhone SE, you will see even the height now is 100% of this height of my iPhone SE, which is 667 pixels. If I choose another device, let's go, what do we have here? Samsung Galaxy. You will see my height is a little bit more, and now it stretches to full that height. Exit the responsive view here. Let's close our inspector and let's go back, because there's another cool feature that is often used in website design when we work with images in the background, and that is the parallax or fixed effect of images. The first thing I'll do here is select the settings of this image and go all the way to this one where we have the image. And here we have parallax. Currently it's set to none, and you have two here, fixed and animated. I highly recommend to stick to fixed. Animated seems very cool, but you're hardly going to use it. It's not that good, and it often, if you don't have a very, very high resolution image, it may actually not look really good on your page. So what does these two do? Let's select fixed, and you will see there's a little bit of a change. It shifted a little bit. But now, when I scroll, you will see that my image remains set in the back. It remains fixed. And that is a very common parallax effect that we have in website design. One I personally use quite often. Don't overdo it, but it's a nice way of revealing and also giving a little bit of a design flair to your website. Not to be left outside in the cold, let's go have a look at what the animated one does for us. Go to Parallax and select Animated. Now as I scroll, you will see that the image remains kind of fixed in the background, but at the same time, it's also moving just a little bit. This one is not that common, but still plenty used on many a website, and it is something that may fit you when you're using it. So let's just update it and go view it on the front end preview. I've got so many preview tabs open at this moment because it's always good to go and have a look on the front, and it's always good to test it on different browsers and different devices. I scroll down, and then I get here, and interestingly enough, it doesn't do the animated. You see what I mean about testing it? As I'm not a big animated user, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work on Chrome or maybe one of the other browsers, but this is a bug. It's not working. Let's update it one more time, because it's better to test it twice, thrice, until you go blue in the face. Let's see if it has made any changes. Load for us. Do I need to scroll? Ugh. Nope, it still remains fixed. In fact, it doesn't only remain fixed. This is what I mean about animated. It actually changes the size of the image. It's added the spacer at the bottom, but the animation is not playing through. So let's go back to fixed. Make sure that this is not a bug also for the fixed version. And I'm troubleshooting a little bit as we talk here. We put it on fix, update, go to the front, refresh this page. Freshalicious. And now we have true fixed again. Yeah, so the animated one not working, especially not on my Microsoft Edge. And lately, if you find it doesn't work, try and find something else. Then don't push yourself to make it work. You're just going to be crying crocodile tears very soon. And the best is rather to go with something that works 100%. So two great features that you can apply on your website. The first one is full height. That gives you a nice hero section kind of effect. And then if you apply that together with this parallax fixed effect, you really have stepped up your design game here with Brizy Cloud.